SnailWorks, not SnailsWorks, SnailWorks. And so we're going to be taking you today on a power users tour of SnailWorks. I have to be candid when most of these SnailWorks employees hear that I'm going to be doing a power users tour. They snicker a little bit because I don't have a reputation internally as the greatest power user maybe. But I think that's really the point here, which is as we go through all this, I'm going to try to show a lot of features that maybe you don't know exist for SnailWorks. And you know, that's you'll see that it doesn't take a power user. It's all relatively simple to use. There's just a lot of features that we found that some users aren't aware of. And then if you're not a user, I think you'll find some interesting tidbits about the power of multi-channel and some of the things that we do with our platform. So that said, I'd like to thank Karen Bartram. She introduced me today, and Karen is no mere announcer. She's our Director of Client Services, and really the person you'll be dealing with when I leave you with lots of technical questions. You'll end up talking to Karen, and she'll answer those for you. So a little background on SnailWorks. SnailWorks is about we're about 3 years old now, so we're still a pretty young company. And the term SnailWorks is no disrespect to snail mail by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, our goal is to make direct mail more powerful by tying other channels into it, and also we found creating a tracking tool has added a lot of power to what we do. So sort of the SnailWorks in a sentence value proposition is we provide tools to help improve direct mail response by engaging other online channels. So I didn't directly read the slide, but that's sort of, I think that sums up what we do. And so as you'll see when we go through some of what we're really looking at today is primarily the reporting and what you see, what your clients see, and where this power comes from, and also show you how you can use some of the reporting, not just to look at it, because we're kind of hung up here that we don't want reporting to be something you just look at. We want reporting to be something you take action with, that you do things with. So everything about SnailWorks tries to be action-oriented. We have two primary services that we'll be talking about and showing some reports on today. The first is mail tracking, and that's kind of at our heart. Those of you who know us here know that our background was in mail tracking. We started doing that back in 2000 with a different organization, and then launched our own mail tracking platform as part of SnailWorks. And we think it's a world-class platform. It's got a lot of cool little tricks. It's all been written in the latest web software. So we'll be showing you how that works and going through a tour of that. And our mail tracking, of course, we have great reports, but beyond reporting, we're really trying to use it as an action item, something to trigger other activity. And so that's which kind of leads into the second and sort of the core part of our business, which is multi-channel marketing. And we have sort of a laundry list of things we do that are in multi-channel. But rather than just as a list, we really try to tie it together as part of a coordinated platform to help you do that. And again, as we go through some of the reports today, we'll be showing you how that works. Also, I've got, I'm starting with a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation here, but once we get through this, we will be going live and online. That's kind of part of the fun of a webinar. I don't want to just do a PowerPoint in a bunch of desks across the country. Some of the features that we have as part of multi-channel marketing, we do have pearls and curls. And pearls is, as most of you probably know, are personalized URLs. Just to show off my computer ability, a URL is a uniform resource locator, which is a fancy word for a web address. So with a pearl, we can send somebody sort of like davelewis.hailthesnail.com. You can go there, you can have a personalized web page, and there's a lot of other benefits to having a pearl that we can track who's been there and what they're doing. And a curl to us is a QR code that has effectively a pearl embedded in it. It has a personalized URL into it, or a unique URL. So we call them curls. We have actually general URLs too. We're always talking here about pearls, curls, and girls. But it doesn't mean what most people think when we're saying that. We host landing pages. That's really kind of at the heart of what we do as part of multi-channel. That is a response page that lives on the web. If you're doing direct mail, if you're sending out a reply form in your direct mail, you're doing a landing page. You're just doing a paper landing page. Our landing pages are whatever's behind this screen here. They are digital, and the term landing page is a little deceptive because there can be a lot more behind a landing page than just a single page. Some of our landing pages are pretty sophisticated websites with lots of different capabilities, lots of resources. People tie in videos and things like that. Next part of what we do as part of the SnailWorks multi-channel services is email marketing, and email marketing is what got all of you guys here today pretty much. We did an email campaign for this, and as part of what we always do, I like to show what we did in terms of marketing, so you'll be able to, we'll show you the emails we sent out and what the response rates were and how that looks on one of our reports. And so we have a couple ways for this campaign. We did email blasts, which is we picked a time of day, we picked 10,000 of our closest friends, and we sent them an email. And we did that 3 times, and we gathered the response and put the webinar on. A triggered email is a little bit different. Again, it's still an email going out, but with triggered emails, we're using some event to trigger that email on a one-by-one basis. In most cases, what we're using is the delivery of the mail. That's kind of where mail tracking comes into what we do, which is when the mail gets delivered, then we use that to trigger an email. And in fact, we have one client now. It's the first time we've done this. We just recently started. We're actually triggering an email the morning the mail is going to be delivered. So the email gets there before the mail does, and it sort of says, look out, there's some mail coming your way that you'll be interested in. It's the first time we've tried that, and it seems to be very effective. So there's lots of spins, and we're always trying new things because our clients give us lots of ideas because our clients are invariably smarter than we are. And then finally, the main thing, and this is really kind of sums up what we do, which is campaign coordination. All these pieces, you can get pearls and curls and landing pages and email marketing. There's lots of resources to do that. We tie it all together into one place, and that's really been our strength. And when we go through the reports, you can really see how that does come together. A couple of new products that we've developed recently that we'll be talking about a little bit are Your Mail and one-step seamless tracking. One-step seamless tracking is since the Postal Service has had such a great name with seamless acceptance, we thought, what the heck, we'll have seamless tracking. And so we have a lot of clients who use a lot of different pre-sort softwares and who run a lot of jobs through us, and they don't want to spend all day on the screen creating jobs. So we've created this module called One-Step that installs in their system. It takes a short amount of time to do that, and our technical people help get that installed, and that way you can create jobs almost literally at the push of a button. And that's really for a mail tracking operation, that more than for multi-channel. And then One-Step, which will, or I'm not sorry, Your Mail, which shows, and I think I've got a better image of this. Let me see. I'm going to test my skills here on GoToWebinar to see if I can show you this. Here we go. This is a little bit easier to see, which is essentially we're taking the reporting. Oops, so I'm getting notice that that's not showing on. Oh, it is showing now. Okay, you'll have to bear with me on that. Okay, this illustrates sort of we don't really have this giant snail here with the little hard envelope, but we do. We're able to we're using this for some nonprofits that have chapters across the country and some retail clients who have stores around the country, and they're able, as their mail gets delivered, they can use that the delivery of the mail to trigger an email to them. It's kind of a simplified mail tracking report. And again, let me show you what that looks like. Here we go, and I'll wait for that to come up. So you can see that it doesn't look exactly like the mail tracking report you're used to. There's no scan percentages. There's no technical postal stuff. It says this is the day the post office had the first scan. This is the day we think it's going to be delivered, and this is how many pieces got delivered for you. So this is very powerful among retail customers and among clients with chapters that they're dealing with. And let's see if I can get back to my PowerPoint. Hey, it worked. Okay. So you'll have to pardon my excitement when I operate these things correctly, even if it moves a little slower than I know. So those are some of the advanced services. And what we're going to be going through today, we'll look at the SnailWorks webpage. There's actually something on there before you even log in that I want to show you. It won't take long. And then we'll go into SnailWorks mail tracking. We'll drill through the reports. We'll look at some custom views. I don't need to read this list to you because we'll be going through this when we do it. We'll show you how to create a mail tracking job very briefly. We're going to have in January a detailed webinar on how to create multi-channel jobs and all that. So we're just trying to keep this kind of high level today. Then we'll go to the SnailWorks dashboard, and this is where the multi-channel campaigns live. So we'll hop on there. We'll show the campaign overview, show all the features of that, and then show how to create campaigns from the dashboard. Again, we try to be action oriented here. And so that's we'll show you how we use campaign. We use the SnailWorks tools to do our own marketing, and we do a lot of marketing with SnailWorks. A friend of ours talks about eating your own dog food, and we don't like to think of what we do as dog food. It's more like a delicious buffet, but we nibble at our buffet all the time. We use a lot of our different services to market our own services. So we'll show you how that works. It's sort of an organic marketing lesson there. And then finally, we will spend a few minutes talking about social media. And again, social media is very important to a lot of customers these days, to a lot of organizations. So we'll show how you can use SnailWorks to tie in social media into your campaigns. And sort of what we're hoping to do today as we power user through this thing is to show, not just discuss these features, but to show how they work and how you do it, and hopefully how easy it is. Because again, the ultimate test here is if something's easy enough for me to do, then it should be easy enough for anybody to do. So if I'm doing my job correctly, you are hopefully now seeing the SnailWorks website. If you haven't been on the SnailWorks website in a month or two, you really need to go on there. We have completely revamped it, redesigned it. A lot of good information about our products. We put pricing on there. We're not shy. If you like our newsletters, we have all our old newsletters on there, and the funniest newsletters on direct marketing that you can find, which is not a particularly high bar, but nonetheless you can find them there. And one thing I want to show you, and we got little stories here. We're not going to go into those today, but there is one feature before we log in that I want to show you that we're finding a lot of users and a lot of non-users, a lot of non-clients, unfortunately, are using with us, but that's okay. This is here for everyone to use, and this is just a handy little tool, and we're going to be expanding this as we build our database. But if you have a client who says, hey, I got something I need delivered by December 15th, when do I need to be in the mail? This tool we've built has a few locations from and to where you can actually calculate how long it'll take things to get delivered based on normal delivery times. So we're in Washington, D.C. here, so we mail out of Washington. And let's say they have to get their piece delivered in Dallas, Texas, and we're going to send it standard mail because we're cheap. So the question is, and I want it delivered on December 15th, which is a Monday. So I'm going to go ahead and take that and submit it. And the system here tells me, based on going through the statistics we have right now, the average transit time is 12.61 days. Our system takes out the holidays and the non-delivery days and calculates that you ought to get that in the mail on November 29th to make that happen. So if you have a client who just wants to know how long is this going to take, this is a handy tool. You don't even need to log in. You don't even need to be a customer of ours to pop in and use this to try it. So if you just want to have the saddest fun possible, you can come here and just see how long it takes things to go from point A to B all afternoon if you'd like. As I said, as time goes on, we will be expanding this and adding more to it. More cities as we go through it as we build up our database. So that said, that little plug given, let's go ahead and log in. I'm guessing most of you are familiar with the concept of a user ID and password, so I will, because we're power users here, we don't need displaying the simple stuff. So we're going to go ahead and log into the system. And here we go. And there's a couple of views to look at, a couple of things to be interested in as we look at this. One, this is the campaign view we're looking at. These are multi-channel campaigns. And then we have other clients who just do mail tracking. And so if you click on the mail tracking link, then we can see our mail tracking clients here. And these are the clients we have on this test account who do that mail tracking as well. So we're going to dive right into mail tracking. And the SnailWorks client looks interesting. Let's see what they're up to. So if we go into SnailWorks, and this is if you are a reseller of SnailWorks, for example, and your client logged in, this is what they would see. They would see their jobs listed. They'd see your logo up here, not the attractive SnailWorks logo, and your contact information as well. And then we got a number of jobs here, and we're going to go ahead and look at one we did a couple months ago, the how to sell a multi-channel ebook. So I logged into that. Now the first thing you'll notice is when I logged into that, the first thing that comes up is a map of, let me check this. This is the United States of America. This is a map of, and we only have one country, no foreign countries yet on mail tracking, but that shows based on the different colors how much has been delivered in each state. If I mouse over a state, you'll see this delivery statistics within that state, as well as you can sort of see a summary up here of the overall delivery. We got about a 94% delivery rate on this, which actually is a little bit low. It's a 6x9 postcard, so sometimes postcards, if they're slick, don't get the highest scan rates. But anyway, this is the view that comes in, and a lot of our clients like to start with a map of the U.S., but you don't have to. Here's one of our first little power user tips. If you're a reseller of this, or even if you're not, if you want your clients to start with something different, I'm going to go ahead and go back to mail tracking. And back to the SnailWorks client, and you see here where you can edit the account settings. So I'll do that. If you come down to edit account settings for one of your accounts, you can change this. Right now we have it as view by map. That's what we want to see, but we'll put it as view by date. And I will save that. And it tells me it's been saved. I'll go back to mail tracking. I'll go back to SnailWorks, and we'll look at that same job. And now we have how many pieces were delivered by date. So that's something if you're a reseller you want to give, and each of your clients as a reseller can have their own view. You can set this different for each one. So if you have some that are visually oriented, like looking at maps, go ahead and show them a map. If the other one is just see just the facts, ma'am, and if you look on on the page, there's a variety you can set up. Another thing that I want to show that I think is another good a little tip for power users is the scan type. And we don't see enough people use this, and we put a lot of effort into making this work, which is most of what we show. I'm going to go back to the map of the U.S. here. Most of what we show is by a delivery date. We anticipate when the mail is going to be delivered, we calculate that, and then we provide reports by delivery date. You can also look at first scans. And you'll notice when I change it to first scan, my percentage went up. That's how many pieces in total got into are in the Postal Service. We've gotten some kind of scan data on. Now, when the job's done, this isn't that useful. But when you've just mailed a job and half of it's been delivered and your client's going, did you mail the rest of my mail? Looking at it by first scan, and all these reports by first scan can be very helpful to see that the mail is in the system. It can be very reassuring to a client. Not that clients ever worry about their mail, but just in case you have the one that does, that first scan report can be very handy. It's just as simple as selecting that on the pull down. So we'll go, now we have last scan. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what you do with last scan, because last scan is sort of the same as first scan, but delivery date, good one to have. First scan, good one to have. Just a couple of other quick things on mail tracking, because mail tracking is kind of simple. We have all the, you can view by state, and this shows how many pieces were delivered each day within a state. And I'll just pick a state. Maryland's a good one. I live there, so we'll pick Maryland and drill down. You can see all I'm doing this. So this is the 3 digits within the state of Maryland, and then 217 is up in the Frederick area, and I'll click on that. And then this shows me all the 5-digit zips we have in there. And then, let me say, I live in 21701. I wonder if I got a piece of mail here. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't know my zip plus 4. But these are all the pieces that got delivered by serial number that we tracked into 21701. And then if I select one of those, it'll show me the scans that piece occurred to. So you can see you don't need to be a genius or a power user to drill down from that national view into a single piece. But also we have another option here, which is you can do a lookup you can do a mail piece lookup. So if someone calls and says, hey, I didn't get my mail piece, I didn't get my bill, is usually probably a more relevant thing. And we'll look up my partner Dave Locus here, because I think he was in this mailing. So you can submit someone by name. And so that's Dave Locus, and so we can look him up by name and see. So he got his on October 8th, so if he complains he didn't get his mail piece, I'm going to be skeptical about that. But you can see if someone didn't get it, also it tells you when you need to resend it. So a nice customer service feature, which is the single piece lookup. Again, one that a lot of people don't use enough. Another set of reports I want to show, which is performance reports, and particularly if you have retail clients, this is a very important feature. A lot of clients, most retail clients in particular, tend to set targeted in-home dates. I'm sure everyone on this call has clients who are pretty interested in mail getting delivered next week. They put it in the mail whenever, and they'd like it delivered sometime between this Saturday and next Wednesday because there's some kind of sales or something going on next week. And so this is the performance report, and what this does is, and on this job we had set targeted in-home dates. And so we, you can see this is an NDC view. Under each NDC, you can see what percentage got scanned, how many pieces were delivered within there, how many were delivered early, on time, and late. So this, again, is for you to adjust as you use this and become more accustomed to watching this, and your clients become more accustomed to watching this. This becomes very valuable to know these targeted dates. We also have some other features that are tied into that. We have a report. In fact, let me bring that up to show you. Again, this is something that's not it's not standard. You have to ask for this, and that's why this is a little bit of a power user tool. Which is we have the late mail report. Give it a second to come up here. Okay, give it 5 seconds to come up here. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to the website. I'm not sure why that didn't. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. There it is. So this is the late mail report, and this is an email report that we send out based on delivery dates and based on meeting. There's a couple of ways to do it. We can just put in default dates from delivery. We can also build this around your targeted in-home dates. And so if you have something where the mail's late, you can get a notice early enough to maybe do something about it, or at least so your client knows. So this is an exception report. We found a lot of times with mail tracking, people don't look at the mail tracking unless there's a problem. So this is an exception report that you can have sent to you automatically that alerts you there may be a problem. In this case, the parameters we had set was jobs mailed in the last 30 days have a delivery percentage of less than 80%. And 7 days is considered, and what's late. In this case, we just said after 7 days, we consider first-class mail late. After 21 days, we consider standard mail late. So I can look at these and see the scan rates are low, and we did check. These are flats. There's nothing too alarming, but it's told us that there's a possible problem we had to look for. So again, that is the late delivery exception report. If you're not using that, I'll start piling on Karen's tasks right now. You want to talk to Karen or to your project manager and have them add that feature for you. So we're going to go back to SnailWorks. So we should be back on the website now. Okay, and so that's that report. And let me see. I think that's most of what we have there. I'm going to go back to mail tracking for a second. One last thing I want to just walk through quickly at sort of a power user level, if you will, or just, is creating a job. And creating a job, as I said, we have programs that do it automatically, but even in those, there's some factors you want to keep in mind. So to create a job manually, just click on that little plus sign there. It's so simple that even I can read it. Let me see. And this is the screen that you get. We'll wait for it to load up here. This is the screen that you get in creating a job. And the other thing I want to point out here is very simple to, if you look at this, your client is SnailWorks, and outbound tracking. Everybody does outbound tracking. One feature that we have built into SnailWorks that's very easy to use is inbound tracking. We have a few clients using, and I'm going to show you some reports from this as well. So inbound tracking tracks your responses, your replies that have been sent to you. Essentially, the day they get dropped in the mail, we know that they're there. So and it's really just as simple as clicking on one of the boxes. Now you need to let us know that you're doing inbound tracking. We need to set up some things on your account. But it's very simple to do. We can do it almost instantly. We can have you set up for inbound tracking. Very simple to do. The other thing, we do support full service. If you're doing full service, by all means click that so we give you the right service type IDs. Sorry to get nerdy on you there, but service type IDs and all the pieces in the barcode we're going to help you with. If you're doing full service, if you're struggling with it, let us help you, at least on the barcode side. We are very experienced in full service intelligent mail. We work with that a lot. Another feature which people don't use enough, in my opinion, and this is going to be a big deal in the coming months, is ACS. Again, as simple as clicking on a button and you're doing ACS. Very important point with the new move update requirements that are going to be coming in next year. And really, it's just as simple as clicking on there, and we change the service type ID, and we can help you manage your ACS. A little more to it than that, getting it set up initially. So talk to us here, but it's very inexpensive. Depends on whose mailer ID and things like that you're using, but it's pretty simple to do. And just to go back at mail tracking just for another minute, a couple other quick things I want to show you. Well, first of all, we talked about ACS. Here's a client who does ACS, and we've relabeled it ACS job. We're not going to show who the clients are. They're doing this. But in this case, this was a standard mail tracking. It was 24,000 pieces. If we go to our pull-down menu here and go to ACS undeliverable pieces, there were 40 pieces that were undeliverable that we got NICSEs back on from the ACS system. We manage it for them, we send it to them, we can match them back to the right jobs and the right pieces. A huge help, very powerful to clients. Remember, if you're full service, the data from the Postal Service is free. So if you're using full service, this is very powerful stuff, and it's much more affordable than it used to be. The other thing we can get is the ACS data, raw data. In this case, we had 331 records out of 25,000 pieces. You can do the math. That's about a little over 1%. That's typically what we see on mail that has had NCOA processing done. We're still finding 1% rates on this. Clients treasure this data because they can take this and either correct the addresses they have, or they can delete them for subsequent mailings. So very powerful stuff. So that's a quick view of ACS and the ACS reporting that you can get. And by the way, every report you see here, and I should have pointed this out before, is downloadable. You click on a key and it'll export to Excel. Some of the mail tracking reports will export to an HTML so you can share it with a client as well. So that's everything we've been looking at. Here's this map report. Let me see. The map's not a good example, but I'll go to the view by date. Now I'm tied into ACS on this job. So, but I'll try on some other jobs. Let me go back to one of these SnailWorks jobs just very briefly to show you the download capability. So on this one, you go here to export. It gives you a choice of HTML, Excel formatted, or Excel data only, which is CSV, for those of you who are familiar with that stuff. So very simple. And one last thing I'll show in mail tracking, then we'll move on to multi-channel, which is an inbound tracking job. And this is for a membership organization doing renewals. In this case, and another thing about SnailWorks mail tracking is you can always do multiple splits. So in this case, we called split 1 the outbound and split 2 the inbound tracking. So on the outbound, it's just these regular tracking jobs like we've been looking at, 94% scan rate. So it was 290,000 pieces. Everything went as it should. But the other side of this, again, let me go back to that split 2, is the inbound. So if I go to inbound tracking, the map doesn't show any colors. But if you look at the inbound tracking reports, you can see inbound revenue. In this case, they were sending dues invoices, so they know how much the invoice was for. So we calculate for them each day based on the invoices, and this is matched record for record, how much money was being sent to them that day that they could anticipate, and then we have a cumulative total. So you can tell this particular organization had a lot of renewals. They had, gosh, I don't know, it went on for pages, but I think 52,000 renewals came in, millions of dollars, and this is all data that from a cash flow perspective, it was revenue they could anticipate. Another report that we have on this also, which they are using on this as well since they're doing renewals, is the inbound tracking detail, and this is simply you get to watch my snail crawl across the screen for a minute here. At SnailWorks, we even have innovative screen delay things. Instead of a spinning beach ball, we got a snail. But this shows, this is a listing of everybody whose check is in the mail, if you will. And so this client uses that. This is on a first renewal. They use that to suppress on the second renewal so they don't mail to those people again. And on that set, I'm going to go to multi-channel. So that's just a lot of the features there. And again, a lot of our clients don't see these features that exist under mail tracking. So this is the campaign screen. We're going to go look at that same job we've been looking at the mail tracking on the whole campaign. And this kind of shows you everything we did on that campaign. So we did 7,918 pieces of direct mail. You've seen the tracking results on that. We did 6,300 emails that were coordinated. 7,400 got delivered. Again, our undelivered on mail tracking is a little bit of a misnomer. It just means we just didn't get scans on it. 150 undelivered on email. Those really are undelivered. Those are bounces or unsubscribes that occurred. And then just summaries on the different ways we got responses. We got Pearls. We had 45 people who went to our landing page from Pearl. 31 who bought our ebook. Well, they didn't buy it. They took the offer on the ebook. Now, not only are these numbers statistics, but if you click on any of these, so if I want to know who went to a Pearl and ordered an ebook, I can click on there, and I'll get a listing of who actually went on and who those people were. And again, all the reports here, if I click here, I'm downloading in Excel. So it's very simple to download this. And again, most of our clients do download these. They're going to be doing follow-up. They want Excel spreadsheets of it. So again, all the stats here in terms of who went to our general URL, our GURL as we call it. And on this campaign with about 8,000 records, we got 206 landing page hits, and we gave away just under 60 white papers. So we were pretty happy with the response from that. Direct mail delivery we looked at to death already. If you click here, you're back into, I don't know what I'm looking at there. Let me go back. But that would take you into the direct mail delivery. Email delivery stats are here. Landing page hits and leads captured. These are both interesting. Leads captured, this is everyone we caught that came as a lead. And you can see how they responded. Another thing, a little power user thing to keep in mind when you're looking at this is because this is .NET, you can click on any of the column headers and it'll resort that. So if I want to see how many people were on email in here, then it'll sort it for me. Then it goes to general URL and printed Perl. So I can sort just by clicking on the column headers. If I want to get companies in alphabetical order, I can do that by again just by clicking there. Very simple to change this, but awfully handy. Something if you're doing this for your clients, you want to let them know that feature exists so they can resort. So these are the people, these leads captured we call them, are the people who went and got our ebook, and I guarantee you they all got a phone call from us. The other one that's kind of interesting is this concept of landing page hits. And landing page hits, these are people who went to our website, and maybe we can actually exclude everybody who took us up on the offer for the ebook. We exclude them, and so this is everybody who is left. And I went ahead and sorted it on first name because it's people who just go to the GURL, who go to the general URL, we don't necessarily know who they are. But there's a lot of people here you can see. We know these are all people who went to our landing page and didn't take us up on our offer. These are still very good leads, and they all pretty much got called too. And then we could do follow-up from there. And we talked. I talked a little bit about how we use this to build other campaigns working off of this, which is very simple. In this case, if we wanted to, we mailed out 8,000 pieces of mail, and that cost a lot of money. I mean, I love direct mail, but it's not cheap. So we wanted to do a follow-up to that, and we like direct mail. We didn't want to just do email. We wanted to do a follow-up, but we didn't want to mail out 7,000 or 8,000 pieces. We wanted to mail up fewer. Well, this gives us a great option. We can select everybody who went to the landing page but didn't take our ebook, and then we can select everybody who opened the email, and we can download both of those right here into Excel files. Merge purge, and we got 800-900 people that we can do another mailing to that we know had some interest. It gives us a very simple way to identify that. We see social media again, and I'm going to show you another job that has more social media to it. But we show how many people got hit LinkedIn, Facebook, these different things. And I do want to show sort of these hidden buttons across the top here while we're looking at this campaign summary. And they're not supposed to be hidden. My IT guy hates it when I say that, but they don't stand out. One is this is the timeline report. Again, if you've got multi-channel, a lot of your clients will really like looking at this. and this shows all the different. This shows how many leads. The green is the leads we got. The purple is the emails open, and the blue is when direct mail got delivered. So we can kind of see how this followed. And then as you go down here, you can look date by date how a campaign unfolded, how many emails got sent each day, how many pieces of direct mail got delivered each day. And again, it's all particular people. If you want to know, on the 14th of October, I had 17 people who went to my landing page. I can click here and see who they are. So very, very simple, powerful report. Particularly for multi-channel campaigns, so your client can watch it unfold. This is the home button, the little house. Clever enough. This is a campaign lookup. I'm going to go ahead and look for me here, because I am a sucker for this stuff. I always respond very well. And so I'll submit my name, and where's Dave Lewis? There he is. The SnailWorks one we'll look at. I'm in here more than once. So this shows all the activity, all the interaction that that SnailWorks, that this campaign had with me. Shows when the mail was dropped, when it got delivered, if I went to the landing page, how I went to the landing page, why I went to the landing page. I guess it doesn't say why, it just says how. I'll tell you why, because it's my job and I was looking at it too much. But this is kind of a nice, a really neat, almost a CRM view of this. If you're calling on somebody and want to see if they're interested in what you're doing, we do this when we're calling. Well, anyone who has received one of our sales calls after taking one of our e-books, before we call you, we look at this report and see, you know, if you looked at the landing page 10 times, you know, okay, this person's really interested. So we do pay attention to that. It's a very simple report. And then the last thing under the hidden icons is the infamous Snaily. So that is this little @ sign with a body on it here. And let me see, is that going to pop up? There it is, yeah. So there is the snail, and a Snaily is a way to tie a social media or really any kind of web presence into your landing page. So I'm going to tweet. We'll call it a webinar tweet, and I want people to come to my landing page, which was snailselling.com, and I'm going to tweet it. So I click Twitter, and then I generate. And you can see I can do a Facebook post, I can do LinkedIn, I can do Google+, and I'm going to generate links from that, and that will give me a shortened link, like a bit.ly, if you will. Sort of ours are Snailies, snaily.me, and then I can tweet about that. And I don't think this will show on your screen, but a screen came up that I could, where I could go ahead and type my tweet in and send it out. Or you can copy this link and embed it. And we do that a lot with a lot of the marketing we do. We take links off of Snailies and then embed them in what we do. So that's kind of a quick overview, but a little more drill down detail on that. And I want to show you. I want to go back to this campaign view we were looking at to show that, okay, this is a multi-channel campaign we just looked at that had lots of direct mail and email and that we were doing. But we use this tool for a lot of different campaigns. One is the seminar, well, we call it seminar here. I don't know why it's a webinar. This webinar today that we got you to come to. So let's look at the dashboard for that. We did no direct mail. We did 30,918 pieces of not pieces of records of email, and which was really, if we drill down, if we look at the timeline up here, you'll see that it was actually 3 emails we sent out. And so the purple shows when the email was who opened it, and then the green shows of the opens how many responses we got. And I'll even go ahead. I always like to do this with a direct marketing audience, is to show you. I'll show you the emails that we use for this. Email 1. And we'll wait for it to open up here. There we go. Email 1 is the. We sent this. I sent this. We call this a VIP email. It was from me. It was just kind of a casual note, not a lot of graphics to it. We sent this out first, and we got a lot of response to that. We did pretty well with that. Our second email that went out was cleverly called email 2 here, and this was more sort of a conventional HTML email. It had a picture of a snail with a lot of stuff piled on his back, and talked about the webinar. And then the last email, which was our sneakiest one. I guess we didn't mean to be sneaky per se, but email number 3 was this little note, just checking in. It was just a note for me, making sure that you'd gotten it, gotten response to this. So you can see, very simple, very little effort to send this out. We call this a VIP email. But let's see how these 3 emails did back on that report we were looking at. So we'll wait for it to come back up. See, GoToWebinar is not as fast as SnailWorks is sometimes. And they have a bigger budget than we do, I guarantee you. So we're just waiting for that to come back. You may talk among yourselves while we wait for this to come back here. I'll sing to you. No, I won't sing. I won't do that to you. Here we go. This is what we were waiting for. And so this shows the first email did pretty good. That was the first notice. The second one, it's funny, the fanciest email with the HTML and the snail with the stuff on his back didn't do that great. And then finally the last email, just checking in, that tore it up. We did that yesterday, I think it was, and we got a lot of response for that. So whether it was timing, whether it was the efforts, I don't know. So that's one thing. So again, no direct mail on this. This was just an email campaign, but we got to measure it very nicely because of the way we do things. And there's a listing of who was captured leads. I had a lot of people who were landing pages who didn't sign up for the webinar. They'll be hearing from us. Don't worry about that. So we'll do extra marketing for them on the next one because we know they showed at least enough interest to go there. So that's a view there. Another different thing I want to show quickly is we've got some here. Oh, this is one. If you're a Postcom member, you've seen ads. Ads are running in Postcom right now in their publication that comes out every week online. And that one, there's no email. There's nothing but Postcom ads. This just tells us how many people. We put very soft on the offer in there with landing page hits, so we can see how many people came off of that. So that said, I budgeted 45 minutes for this. I'm trying not to go long on that because I know people have things to do. So let's see. I've got a couple of questions that Karen gave me, and this is a good opportunity if you have any questions. Then this is a good chance to ask. I'm going to put this. Whoop. Bear with me 1 second. I can work this, but I can't work PowerPoint apparently. There we go. Okay. So anyway, if you have questions, now's a good time to type them in. If you can't stand listening to me anymore, if I run over 45 minutes, we don't get you today, then by all means email them to us. All of our email addresses are up here. Our phone number is 855-MY-SNAIL. And let me see. And is SnailWorks available to direct clients? These are some of the questions that we've gotten online. Is SnailWorks available to direct clients or only to resellers? It's available to direct clients and resellers. We have versions of this. We have reseller versions, and we have direct client versions as well. The resellers, if you're an agency or a mailing company, then you can use that to create your clients as sort of sub-accounts, if you will. Is there a cost to use OneStep? There's not a cost to use OneStep. Once we get it set up, there's a little bit of effort at the front end, and you have to be a subscriber to use that. You have to be a monthly subscriber to our program. But if you are, then we'll set you up for no cost. And it's really IT guys give me high fives and hugs all the time when I see them at trade shows because they think I have something to do with that stuff. I really don't know how to do it, but people do love that feature, the ease of creating jobs, even if you're using another package or any pre-sort package. We've integrated with all the major ones at this point. That's worked well. Next question: can action be triggered based on when mail is on the carrier route? It can. Well, usually we see the last, or the scans we start seeing are the evening before the mail gets delivered, and so as soon as we get that, we can trigger. But it's usually just going to be, the best we can do is the morning the mail is going to be delivered in most cases. Let me see. Can you track beyond? I can't read this, Karen. You're going to have to help me. Beyond landing page visits. Select business mode or for which fields data was provided. It's well, we build custom reports all the time. Some of that might be custom. One of the reasons we have everything downloadable in Excel is a lot of our clients download overall reports in Excel and then do sortation from that to break it out. But we do custom reports for a lot of clients. One of the concepts we use a lot is client-based development, and that's how we decide what we're doing next as far as developing new features. And we have a slew, I believe that's the technical term, one slew of features coming out in the next couple of months, and pretty much all of them are driven by client suggestions. And so as I said, our clients are generally much smarter than I am, and are much smarter than we are even collectively. Karen, do we have any other questions? Okay, very good. Well, again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us today. As I said, our contact information is on here. I'm Dave Lewis. If you just want to talk and hear mail jokes, you can call me, and I got those. Karen can actually help you get work done. Steve Hertz is our killer salesperson, and he will, if you talk to him, you will absolutely become a SnailWorks client. So I only warn you about that, but you'll be a happier person for it. Thanks again so much for joining us today. Again, don't forget our next webinar, and believe me, we won't let you forget it, will be January 8th, 2015. And I'm going to let Karen do that one. She's much nicer than I am and more enjoyable to listen to. And she's going to go into creating a multi-channel campaign. That'll be a full hour webinar. We're really going to dig into the process of gathering your assets and everything you need to put a campaign together. It's really cool stuff. Even if you're not a SnailWorks client, you will find this very, very valuable. If you're a SnailWorks client, you'll wish you were after you see this. It's really neat, but she'll show you exactly how to put a campaign together using our system and just multi-channel marketing in general. So again, if you have any questions or any interest, get in touch with us, give us a call, send us an email, and we'll be happy to help you. Thanks so much for joining us today.